Hello, this is Amanda, and I'm going to answer these questions. So, the first question is give an example of intersectionality from your own life, and then how might those experiences been different. So, I'm going to talk about my friend in high school. So, I think it was our senior year in high school. Um, my friend passed out at the table, and she was biracial, female, and yeah, we were in the middle of class, and she just passed out. And so, for her experience, she was taken to the nurse's office and immediately drug tested and suspended. Granted, she passed out because she from drug use, but they didn't know that at the time. So their first reaction for her being a biracial female to take her to the restroom or to the nurse's office and drug test her first thing. Say a month passes by and I pass out in class, and I was taken to the nurse's office, was never drug tested. I was treated completely differently. They were all really nice to me, understanding, and I was able to call my mom and have her come pick me up. I was never once drug tested. So I think that there's just differences because we just had completely different experiences, and I think it's because she was just a black female, and I don't know. But I mean, it was a really small town, and that's just how they responded to it. That was their first reactions. They thought that she must have been on drugs or abusing alcohol. So that was kind of an eye-opening experience for me, and that happened a lot. There was times where there was multiple girls at this party drinking, and the school found out, and she was kicked off the volleyball team versus the other girls were able to stay on the volleyball team. So just different experiences like that. Show that intersectionality is really important because not only were they all females that got in trouble for drinking, Kelsey was a black female and she was treated differently than the rest. So it's important to highlight that. And then, let's see. The next question is consider your identity in the context of the gender binary. In what ways does your experience of gender fit and or not fit into the binary? For me, I think that I do fit into the binary pretty well. I consider myself a female, my sex is female, but I know a lot of people that don't feel that way, and I'm sure that it can be difficult for them to acknowledge that they don't fit into this like black or white, yes or no standard that society pushes on us. Um, Consider how you have exercised agency related to the binary, supporting or undermining it, and how might you continue to do so in the future. Well, first off, I'm going to reflect on how I have exercised this agency related to the binary in society. So we just assume ever since we were little that there's just, you know, female or male. Like on the movies and music, we'd in any film or media and just walking through the grocery store, we often see just like male or female. So I think it's difficult for us to wrap our minds around that there can be more, that people don't fit into this little tiny bubble. Hmm. Okay, so I obviously support it. I have many friends that I feel like have struggled with it. For example, my best friend's mom spent 25 years in a marriage to a man, and it took her 25 years to realize that she was a lesbian woman, and she finally had the courage to come out, and she was able to truly identify with herself and maybe not feel like she's like 100% female. Maybe she feel like she's a little bit outside the range, and also for her to realize that she wasn't interested in men, although she loved my friend's dad. It was a friendship love versus like being actually in love, and she feels like now for the first time in her whole life, she's now in her late 40s, early 50s, I think, actually, but she can truly identify with who she actually is. And I think that is because of studies like this. Our world is becoming so much more accepting. So she feels like she can be fit in and live peacefully with her true self. Which topic in the class resonated the most with you so far? And then these are kind of two different answers. One that's resonated with me the most so far is all the women's liberation movement stuff. I love the documentaries that we've been watching on that. My favorite's been She's Beautiful When She's Angry. It's just really inspiring to know that because of these women, we are where we are today, even though it's not 100% equal, and we still have a long way to go. Like, if those women didn't fight for what we had now, then I don't know where we would be. So watching those films has been really inspiring as a woman. And then some stuff I've learned in the class that I wasn't completely aware about is the fact that there is more than just this gender binary. There's not just female and male. Although I knew that and I understood it, I didn't realize how many different ways you can identify yourself and how it impacts people. How might you go about learning more about this topic after the course? Just going to events on campus. I feel like I can learn a lot by that, and just educating myself and like putting myself in situations, trying to consider why this person feels this way and what they're going through, and understanding and sitting down and actually listening to what they have to say. I feel like you can learn so much. But for the gender binary stuff, it's I work in a bar, and I've noticed so much that like there's just this like it's crazy to see. Like, it's crazy to be sober and serving these men, that older men, who just, the way that they talk to people, it's just insane. Like, they just assume, it's like they're back in the 50s, and they just assume that there's just men and women, and that women don't deserve to be out, and that we have a certain role in life, and it's just bizarre. Anyways, that kind of added to it. But it's just a very eye-opening experience of what I see every day in a male atmosphere, like what people stereotypically think is a male atmosphere, and they still think that it's just like this male-dominated space, and that they can say and do whatever they want. So I experience that a lot, and it's been eye-opening to learn all this stuff in this class and then apply it to my everyday life. And some of the stuff that comes out of these guys' mouth, I'm just like, that is not okay. Like, we need to not speak like this. But this class has been very eye-opening, and it applies to my life every single day, and I'm glad I took it.